Mikael, bonjour.
Bonjour.
Vous êtes le président de la Maison de l'Europe de Rhodes. Alors, est-ce que déjà, pour commencer, vous pourriez nous décrire, nous présenter cette île et cette ville de Rhodes, ici en Grèce?
The city of Rhodes and the island of Rhodes is quite ancient actually. The city was founded in 408 BC after the unification of the existing city-states of the ancient Greek period. The Rhodian state grew up. It was quite a place of science and arts during the Roman and Hellenistic periods. You know some of Rhodian sculptures like the Knights of Samothrace, the Colossus of Rhodes, the Mechanism of Antikythera, all were works that were created here in Rhodes. Many Roman emperors studied also rhetorics and philosophy here in Rhodes. And apart from that, the ancient state was very influential in creating and sustaining maritime law. Then we have the knights of the Hospitalier Knights of Malta, Jerusalem, Rhodes, and Malta. Many of them were friends, actually, and most of the grand maîtres, the great magisters of the island, were from France. So there's a long chivalric tradition from France here in Rhodes. And then in 1523, there is the Ottoman occupation, the Ottoman conquest from Suleiman the Magnificent, that lasted till the early 20th century, when the Italians liberated so-called the islands, but then they decided to keep the islands for themselves. But after World War II, at last, the Dodecanice Islands, the complex that is headed by Rhodes, returned to Greece, and so it's this is the history behind this famous island of tourism, the cosmopolitan life, etc.
C'est donc ici, à Rhodes, dans cette ville, qu'a été donné le lancement, le coup d'envoi du projet GIRA, Initiative verte dans les zones rurales. Quels sont les objectifs de ce projet?
The GIRA project is about collecting best practices around Europe from the 6 participating countries. It's called Green Initiatives in Rural Areas. When we speak about rural areas, we would like to include also the insular part and the remote areas. Then the 6 countries participated. Greece with Rhodes, France, Germany, Sweden, Poland, and the Netherlands will have the international meetings in each country to collect good practices that are in accordance with the Green Deal and sustainability goals.
L'île donc de Rhodes se situe à l'est, au sud-est de la mer Égée, à quelques dizaines de kilomètres des côtes turques. C'est la plus grande île du Dodécanèse en Grèce. On y trouve près de 120 000 habitants. Et ici, les initiatives en faveur de l'environnement ne manquent pas. Est-ce que vous pouvez nous en présenter quelques-unes?
Yes, well, Rhodes is the 4th largest island of Greece. And this is also, you mentioned, the part of the Dodecanice complex, which is more than 18 islands inhabited from 1 person till 120,000 like Rhodes. And our area is quite innovative and pioneering on adapting new technologies and eco technologies in small scales, because each island is a small world of its own, a state of its own. Everything has to be produced locally, it depends on its own resources. So we have examples also in Rhodes with eco-mobility and new practices that we'll see also in the next days here in Rhodes, but also Astypalia or Halki that we are going also to visit, that try to innovate and create practices that will be applied in larger scale elsewhere.
Merci beaucoup, Mikael, d'avoir été avec nous. Je rappelle que vous êtes le président de la Maison de l'Europe de Rhodes.